guys are a little ways into this. How's it gone so far?
Good. We've been able to scrimmage, I guess, 4 or 5 times now. So gotten out in some short scrimmages, but just being able to see kind of first impression with the offense and the strike throwing ability of the pitchers, and they're really just working fastballs the first week. So just it's been fun to get out and just get moving around again.
What have you learned the last couple of years with the way that rosters reset now in college baseball about team building and how to bring guys together quickly?
Yeah, I think the great thing is the guys kind of understand part of it as well now, is that we're going to have a locker room full of new guys. It seems like you're going to have probably anywhere between 15 and 20, maybe more than that some years like this year. And I think just having enough veterans in the locker room that just do a great job of welcoming new guys in, and just understanding that that's such a big piece of the puzzle. And I think the next step for us is just not just having great chemistry and being good friends, but making sure we're great teammates as well.
Where does that leadership piece start with this team?
Yeah, I mean, we had some guys coming back that voiced after the season that, hey, I want to be more vocal this year. And you hear that from guys from time to time, but I think we've got some younger guys that had a big role last year as freshmen. Some maybe not has a bigger role, but that are just really wanting to do whatever we can to help us get to where we want to get to. So that's really what it takes, honestly, to have that leadership. It's not force. It's not, well, I want to be a leader because I want people to follow me. It's I want to be a leader because I want to win. I want to do whatever it takes to win, and I'm going to show my teammates that I'm willing to do what it takes to win, and then I'm going to hold my teammates accountable to do the little things that it takes to win.
Where are you guys at health-wise right now?
Pretty good. We've got a few guys that'll be held out for the fall. Just nothing major injury-wise. We have some guys coming back. A couple Tommy John guys coming back that'll probably won't be available for the fall, but will be full go for the spring. So we do have we got quite a few pitchers. I think we got 25, 26 pitchers on the roster. So we still have plenty to work with this fall.
The pitching piece of it, I mean, how has Rob kind of challenged those guys? Coming into his new role, and also just kind of the way last year unfolded for you too, and maybe what you have available in terms of roles and things like that.
Yeah, I think maybe some guys are seeing the difference between Fun Rob, who is the player development guy, and Coach Rob is maybe a little bit different. But at the end of the day, how much he cares about the players is pretty evident. We got a nice pitcher unification the first week or so, where they were able to do some challenging calisthenics together as a group, and kind of help build that bond right away. Again, just little stuff that I've seen Rob do through the years with the pitchers. It's just, again, he talks about the KISS method. He's done, he's tweaked some things through the years, but I mean, he's very, very convicted about how he goes about his business, and the things he's asking his pitchers to do on a daily basis. It's very repetitive and very consistent. And really, at the end of the day, I've never known a great player that played the game for a really long time at a really high level that wasn't consistent, that wasn't very diligent in how they went about their business. So I would say that's really what he's trying to bring to the staff.
They're competing with fastball. What do you learn about a pitcher when you have to do that?
You learn if you can command the fastball, number one. Now, command and control are two different things. We've done a good job of not walking a lot of guys, but the fastball command, I think, for some guys need to get better. So can you add and subtract off the fastball? Can you pitch to both sides of the plate? Can you elevate when you need to? Those type of things, I think, is what you see. And then we're going to incorporate the changeup the first couple of weeks as well, where it's just fastball changeup. So they've got a lot of times that's their second or third best off-speed pitch. So again, just trying to figure out a way to compete without having the best stuff. Really, that's what being a great pitcher is because you're not going to have the best stuff most of the time.
How would you evaluate velocity on your team? Is that an element that you expect to be more prominent?
Velocity?
Yeah.
I think it just kind of depends on how some guys come back. I mean, Trey Fromm, before his injury was 95, 98. He throws really hard, and Will Rizzo probably touched 98 last year, but he probably pitches better at 92, 94. So I wouldn't say velocity is everything. We do have some freshmen that have all thrown so far, and most of the guys that come into college, I mean, they're going to be doesn't matter how many strikes you throw. Honestly, if you don't throw strike one and you can't get ahead and put people away when you get ahead, you're not going to get a lot of guys out consistently.
Well, it sounds like you really like your team. Can you get a sense of what maybe this group's identity will be as you guys move through the rest of the fall?
Yeah, what we've seen so far is we kind of call them junkyard dogs already. I mean, we've got quite a few guys that have a chip on their shoulder as far as maybe some JUCO guys that they were D1 kickbacks or Division I transfers. A lot of the freshmen have come in and made a really good impression, just being hungry and eager to work. We've challenged these guys pretty good for the first couple of weeks. I mean, we got right into it, and they've kind of asked for more. So we've meshed really well, really quickly. They're a really coachable group so far, and really at the end of the day, we're trying to be the toughest team in the country. I mean, we talk about that all the time, and the teams that we've been that way with, we've won championships with. So that's our challenge.
What's the early sense of what this offense could be, just in terms of how it'll score, how it'll do it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we probably knew that the home run was going to be a factor last year. I don't know that we realized it would be as big a factor as it was. I would like to be not as reliant on the home run. Again, in any perfect scenario, you're going to have a combination of strength and speed. So are we going to have some guys that can run? I think so. I mean, we went to the junior college route to get a few really good runners. Brumball is back and healthy. He's not throwing quite 100% yet, but I mean, he's another guy that brings that element to the table. And then we've still got some pretty physical guys in our lineup. And if you look up, what you really would like to be is experienced every year without having to turn over your offensive personnel too often. And we're pretty experienced. If you look in the outfield, we've got, Garrett Engels, a fourth-year guy. Cole Evans has been in college baseball for 5 years. Add a few junior college guys in there. Clay Bradford, who's in his 5th year in college. They're pretty physical guys. And, Josh Caron's in his 3rd year. So, we've got some guys with quite a bit of experience. That's what you want, obviously. I think it's got a chance to be pretty diverse.
Where do you see Brumbaugh fitting into the picture defensively?
Yeah, he's playing second base this fall. I think, last year he would have figured probably more heavily in the outfield just based on having a first and second rounder in the middle infield. But he was a shortstop in high school. He's played a really nice second base so far. Like I said, minus the throwing, we haven't really seen much of that from him, just coming back from the shoulder surgery. He could factor in the outfield as well, but I think we have some other options out there this year. So he's a table setter. I mean, he's a guy that he really didn't get to play any summer ball this summer. Still coming back from his injury, and his first at bat against live pitching, he hits a line drive through the middle. He's just a guy that has a knack for finding the barrel, and he has a very, very high baseball IQ based on his upbringing. His dad's a coach and he's a professional player. So just a guy we're excited to get back on the field.
When you're evaluating players in the fall, what are some measurable maybe clues that you guys and coaches can take now that will apply into the swing?
Yeah, I would say, from, like I said, on the pitching side of it, what's the command look like? I mean, are we going to be able to narrow down to, can the number be 12 guys that you can count on? If you're there, then you're pretty good on the mound. If it's 9, I've had plenty of good staffs that have 9 guys you can depend on. But, what's the ability to command the baseball look like? What's the ability to throw secondary pitches for strikes look like? That's really the thing we're trying to find on the mound, is just how many consistent guys do we have that can do those two things. And if you can do that in college baseball, if you can get ahead and you can throw off-speed pitches for a strike, you're going to be tough to deal with. So, and again, from the offensive side of things, to me, what really we need to find is just guys that are willing to play their role, and guys that are, because if we have a bunch of guys that are willing to play the role we're asking them to play, those guys will help us win because they'll be bought in to compete to the best of their ability. So those are probably the great things.
Getting more experience in the lineup, but I mean, you also added a lot of experience to your seemingly the back end of the bullpen.
Right.
How much of an emphasis was that in the offseason and what you added late?
Yeah, I mean, you have several guys. Sanders from he's our type of guy. He's a bulldog, and again, just seeing him pitch with his fastball right now, slider. He threw the slider 80% of the time, and you know, he can go compete with his fastball if he needs it as well. Kyle Fralick was the closer, Northwestern State. I mean, he's a guy that he could probably start. Honestly, he's very, very green in his pitching career. He was a two-way guy in junior college. Went to Northwestern State as a two-way guy. So you know, those guys have experience. Honestly, more than anything, we just wanted to get some guys that we felt like could do the things I just mentioned. You know, can command multiple pitches for a strike, competitive, and then we've got some high upside guys too that we haven't seen yet, that I think are really going to be able to help us at the front of games as well.